Hi everybody, welcome to today's math lesson. Our lesson today is called Frames and Arrows Routines. In this lesson, you're going to find some missing numbers and rules for frames and arrows problems. You're also going to use patterns to find rules for frames and arrows problems. For today's lesson, you will need your whiteboard marker and sock. If you don't have those items, go get them right now and press pause. We know something about this word frames already. We know that frames could be eyeglass frames, or picture frames, or bed frames. But in math, they mean something a little bit different. Frames are shapes, like these squares here, which are connected by arrows. Each square is connected to another square by the arrow. Those shapes could be circles, or triangles, or hexagons, any shape. In frames and arrows problems, each arrow represents or means a rule, and it's the arrow rule, and it tells us what number goes in the next frame. So over here in this box is where we can find the rule. The rule here says add 2. What I like to do on top of the arrows is to write the rule, so I don't forget what to do when I get to each box. So the rule is add 2 or plus 2. I'm going to write that right at the top of every arrow. That helps me solve my frames and arrows problem. Our first number is 5. If I add 2, I can count on 5, 6, 7, 7 and 2, 8, 9, 9 and 2, 10, 11, 11 plus 2, 13, and 13 plus 2 is 15, and that completes our frames and arrows problem. Let's have you try one right now. Let's read the rule together. The rule for this frames and arrows is add 3 or plus 3. The starting number is already given, and that's 3. I want you to fill in the next 4 circles on your whiteboard, press pause to work, and press play to check with me when you're done. All right, are you ready to check your work? Starting with 3, the rule says add 3, so 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. Now frames and arrows can also have different rules. This rule here says subtract 3. So that would be the same as minus 3. I want you to press pause and start with this first number 12 and subtract 3 for the next 4 frames and arrows. And press play when you're ready to check. All right, let's see how you did. The rule again is subtract 3 or minus 3. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 minus 3 is 3. And 3 minus 3 is 0. On your whiteboard, I want you to do these next 3 problems. For the first 2, you'll have to fill in the 4 missing frames. For the last one, the frames are filled in, but you need to find the rule. You need to figure out what changes from one number to the next. What is the difference? Did we add something or subtract something each time? And that rule will always be the same number each time. Press pause to work. Press play when you're ready to check your answers. All right, so let's check your work for these frames and arrows. The first frames and arrows problem is the rule has plus 2. Starting with 8, add 2 more is 10, add 2 more is 12, 14, 16. Down here we have the rule as minus 2. 11 minus 2 is 9, 9 minus 2 is 7, 7 minus 2 is 5, 5 minus 2 is 3. Down here the frames are already filled in, and you need to figure out what the rule is. To do that, you go from one number to the next and figure out what happened. If I start at 4 and I get to 8, I need to add 4 to get there. If I go from 8 to 12, it's plus 4. Again, the rule stays the same all the way down. So I know that the rule for this frames and arrows is plus 4. That's our lesson today on frames and arrows. Don't forget our trick of adding the rule on top of the arrow to help you answer these problems.